Yo, for many years now, I've been a fan of anime, right? I've seen countless titles from many different genres. Action anime is always my favorite to watch, whether it being with ninjas, exorcists, or magic users. But sometimes I don't always want to be caught up in extreme lore and plot details, and I just want to watch something wholesome. Slice of life. Watching slice of life anime is just something that will never get old. Recently, I watched this anime called Negative Positive Angler. This is something I saw a trailer for and thought it would be cool. It's an original anime surrounded by fishing, and it's about this guy named Sunehiro who is a shut-in while also being extremely in debt. One day he finds out that he has 2 years left to live. As the episode goes on, he is on this bridge and is running from the people he owes money to, and he ends up falling over the bridge. He gets grabbed and saved by these people that have fishing as their hobby, and they were just out there doing it. And he's brought on to the life of being a fisher. And this is how the whole series goes on. He is now learning how it is to be a fisher. And that's really much all it is, but there's more to it near the end, right? And I've never cared about fishing, and even now it's still something I don't care for. But when watching Negative Positive Angler, I was excited whenever Hero would learn a new technique or catch fish. There's also a small conflict later in the season with him and another character. Everyone knows that 12 and 24 episode animes one season are extremely beautiful. They're a joy to watch because you just sit through this whole day binging the anime, and by the end of it you just realize that you aren't getting any more content from that series, at least for some of the times where a second season just hasn't been confirmed for a while. Last year I watched Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines, and this was definitely the funniest anime of the year, but it also showed relatable scenes of heartbreak and rejection. In episode 3 and 4 of the show, Kamari has a crush on the president of the literature club. She confesses to him, and there's this awkward part of episode 4 where the president isn't sure what to do because he also likes Koto. When he decides to reject Kamari, she tries her best to play it off like she isn't bothered when speaking to Nukumizu, but she isn't able to hold it in and starts crying. Watching this, I felt sad for her because it was already established that she is a very shy and timid person, and she has built up the courage to confess to the person she's always had a crush for, and while also being surrounded by the other characters. That's like a true step up for how they showed her. To give a little summary of Too Many Losing Heroines, Nukumizu, who is someone that thinks of himself as a background character, which is interesting since he's the main character of Too Many Losing Heroines. He ends up becoming friends with 3 characters, Anna, Lemon, and Kamari. And watching their lives happen, we as viewers also see that they aren't the best when it comes to their love life, right? Which is why they're called Too Many Losing Heroines, because they lose out on love with the people they've had crushes on for so long. Like the main character, Anna. She had a crush on this guy that was her childhood friend. And one of the funniest things to come from this is she calls anyone who interrupts the love life that could happen with childhood friends as homewreckers. This is just one of the best things of Too Many Losing Heroines. Also, the website of the show posts how many calories that she eats per episode, because she just eats a bunch of food every episode and talks about her weight. Now, there's also this character, Lemon, and she has this guy that she was into for her childhood, a childhood crush really, so something else happens with that. And this one's actually better, it's more in depth than what happened to Anna. There's also this freaked out nurse in the show, and I love her character, she's kind of bad too, so I love her character, but at the same time, she needs to get arrested as much as Yasuda does from Horimiya. Speaking of Horimiya, this is one of my favorite anime series of all time, and one of the reasons why is because of the character development of Miyamura, going from a person that didn't connect with anyone and had hatred for a lot of things, to being someone that cares for people and is surrounded by love and great people. The love story was very mature for the show as well, and compared to other rom-coms that have childish type plots, I made a whole video about Horimiya and why I love it so much. You can go watch that if you want to. So I'm not going to go too much in depth with it in this video. And next is another show I really enjoyed in 2023 called Bocchi the Rock. It came out in 2022, so I was very late to jump on the hype of the show. And by hype, I really mean the hype, because this show was being gassed up everywhere on Twitter and YouTube. So when I finally got around to watching it, I was hooked from the first episode, which is of course good, because it's not like they needed to do something extreme to make me continue watching, like in the first episode of Attack on Titan when they killed Eren's mom. And that's the thing with slice of life anime. If you can't deliver a feel-good moment, feel-good episode in the beginning, are you really doing the genre right? And that's truly how I feel. Like, slice of life, it's no true psychological, like, insane think piece for why people love to watch this. It's wholesome. It gives them stress relief from the other series they could be watching, or just life in general, right? You get to take a piece out of these fictional characters' lives. And when talking about slice of life anime, I'm talking about the wholesomeness as well, right? And that's also something I enjoy from other anime that aren't considered slice of life, especially Delicious in Dungeon. Seeing them create these masterpieces of dungeon food that probably will never be created in real life, because he or she, whatever gender author is, could just be throwing random like cooking phrases and stuff and making up a great piece of food. But aside from that, seeing these characters journey through the dungeon, is like so great to watch. And from Senshi, Linus, Marcel, Chilchuck, all these characters have great interactions between each other. And especially with Marcel reacting to every single food they're about to eat as a abomination of food, because they're eating monsters. And it's like, why are we eating this, right? And Linus to be so excited to always eating monsters. And the thing I love about this too is they're not like going to lie and say all of this stuff is going to taste amazing, even if Senshi's cooking it. Like, Marcel has a point to make, like, some of this stuff is going to taste disgusting, and that does happen. And like, seeing how Marcel became friends with Fallon was great to see, or how Senshi and Chilchuck were having this conversation of they need to stick to their things, and how that ended up being, we can learn from each other, right? Those small things were just great to see, and a show that evolves into more than just cooking in a dungeon. Other shows as well, like Call of the Night. Call of the Night is like slice of life-esque, I would say, because there is fighting, like actual like action scenes from what I've seen so far in anime. I don't know where it gets into the manga because I haven't read it, but just seeing the nightlife these characters have and how amazing it is, like watching a show at night just definitely makes it even better, because you're in the setting of these characters. The main character stays to himself. He has friends that are very much different from him, but they still click, right? And he gets to hang out with a bad vampire. And I think this show does well with that. Or like the crazy parts, like when they were having a massage, that was insane. And it still carries a serious tone, like later in episodes. And for the final thing that we'll be talking about, or final show, is Frieren. If you haven't watched Frieren, you're just missing out on peak fantasy anime. This did everything that I would have never got to see from a fantasy anime. It showed the life of an elf grow old, well, not grow old, but watch everyone else grow old, as she has many lives to live. Elves live for centuries, basically. And how she learned to somewhat understand humans and their connection to time, why they hold it so dear to them. And even though she still learns and not sometimes understand why humans are the way they are, seeing her dabble into their culture, I guess, it's just fun to see. Or these other characters like Stark, seeing him become the person who he is when he's training with his master. That stuff is just great to see how they all interact on this grand journey. And that's really all I got, you know? By the way, if you do want to know more about Frieren, or just have someone go in depth, watch Pay Talks Anime. He does a great job of doing this. And that's all I got for this video. It's just a nice quick video. I hope it's quick. And if you loved this video, or at least somewhat liked it, like, comment, subscribe, share if you want to. And until next time, peace.